caught in a trap, caught in the wheel of karma. Everything you do has consequences. Not doing is the only thing to do. And how do you not do? How do you not move? How do you not talk? How do you not say things? So we're in a bad place. But as all of the religions have come down to tell us, as the Shiva, where he has his hand up, and he has the other hand pointing at his foot, and his foot is, his knee is bent up as if he's about to take a step. And he's saying, as he's pointing at that foot, he says, when that foot hits, this world cycle is over. But he's saying, don't worry, another one will start. This has been going on forever. Shiva is the god of destruction, but he's also the god of love. It's a god of compassion, a god of understanding. It's always there to understand that this is going to pass. What's going to happen here is going to pass. What we have to do is try to be objective and pull ourselves back and understand that we're all in this together. We're in a hypnotic trance. Like I said, there's some force took over this planet a long time ago. And as Don Juan said to Castaneda, when Castaneda asked us, well, how do we deal with this? You know, what kind of thoughts? He says, well, you can't think your way out of it, because the enemy, which is he was referring to, gave us its mind. So it's kind of like a matrix thing, you know. We have the mind of the, quote, enemy. In other words, we can't think our way out of this. Thinking, which is I think what Adam and Eve and the whole thing of the tree of knowledge, as you went into knowledge, which is the intellectualizing of things instead of the experience of things. It's going with the experience, going with your energy, your flow, your feelings, instead of intellectualizing it. I think that's what it's talking about when taking the bite of the apple from the tree of knowledge. Because you can't think your way out of it. There's a force that, it is the matrix. We're caught in it. So we've learned a couple of things. We've learned that loving kindness and compassion will help us, will awaken us. That type of energy, that type of doing has consequences that seem to help us and surrounds us with an energy that enables us to wake up. Whereas greed and envy and jealousy and gluttony, all the 7 deadly sins, are all kinds of actions that produce horrible sufferings for ourselves and everybody else. And we're all kind of playing with all those 7 deadly sins and the 7 heavenly virtues, charity and giving, loving. We're in between those. We're working with those. That's the negative and the positive. That's what's happening. And when we get caught up in this thing and we don't understand that, first of all, the thoughts that we have that are pumping in there about killing yourself are on the airways. It's always broadcasting this to kill yourself. This airway thing here, the mind of the enemy. Because if you look at your thoughts that are coming through your mind, where do they come from? Do you really think that, and first of all, there's between 3, depending on what scientific thing, but when I researched this, I just went on the internet, found out that there's anywhere from, some people say 3,000 thoughts a second to 60,000 thoughts a second. I say, oh well, 60,000 thoughts a second, that's ridiculous, I mean, I'm only in touch with 1 thought. That's pretty scary. You're only in touch with 1 or 2 thoughts per second. But when you think of it, everything in the room that you're in right now, every object, everything is a thought. Every aspect of everything is a thought. The molecular structure of all the things that you're saying that make them solid are thoughts. So when you take it that way, you say, oh wow, yeah, it's true then. Because, I mean, I can see that, well, there's a lot more than I thought anyways. I can see the 3,000, because just the room itself is all thoughts. You have to think these things. There can't be a bookshelf sitting there without the thought of it's a bookshelf. And the structure of it, and the color, and everything that it appears to you as is a thought. They're all thoughts. They just are so that you can understand how fast thoughts are. Because when you look at that bookshelf, there's an incredible amount of information that you have taken in and assimilated all in a second, an instant, not even a second, even an instant. So there are lots of thoughts going on all the time. Where do they come from? I mean, there's the ones that are here, and then there's these other thoughts, you know, about how bad you are and how inadequate, you know, or grandeur, thoughts of grandeur, how wonderful and terrific you are, you know. It's like somewhere in the middle, we just are. We are. That's the I am thing. That I am, that I am. I am. I don't have to defend that. I don't have to apologize for it. My behavior, I have to defend and apologize, and I'm accountable for. My essence, the fact that I am here, I have a perfect, I'm here. I'm God's child. I'm a son. Just as you're a son or a daughter, that's all we are. We're the sons and daughters. We're here. And we have a right to be. We have a right to exist. And no matter what happens out there, no matter how good it is, it'll change. No matter how bad it is. And here's where we come into the suicide thing, is it'll change. What's being broadcasted on this crazy morphogenic airways is to kill yourself, is to hurt yourself, is to destroy yourself. I mean, you have to go watch Nicolas Cage in the Leaving Las Vegas, where he goes and drinks himself to death in Las Vegas. And at some point in time, the woman, well, I forget the actress's name, but she says to him, as he's sitting at a table and downing a fifth of vodka, and she said, they're having an intimate moment. They had a very, very powerful love affair between a prostitute and somebody who's trying to kill himself with alcohol in 45 days. But she says to him, why are you doing this? Again, I forget. No, she said, why are you doing this? Why are you killing yourself? And he took a big, big swig of the vodka and he looked at her and said, I forget. You know, and there it is. We don't realize why we're hurting ourselves. We don't realize why we're eating ourselves to death. I mean, fast food nation, we're eating ourselves to death. We don't realize why we're drinking ourselves to death. We know that it's wrong. I don't have to tell you it's wrong. I don't have to tell you it's wrong to go eat, you know, French fries and stuff like that as a steady diet, or fried food. You know this. You know it's wrong. I don't have to tell you it's wrong to smoke, to drink, to take drugs. You know it. It's not like, you're not stupid. You know it's wrong. What you don't remember and you don't understand is, why are you doing it? Why are you killing yourself? Why are you hurting yourself? I mean, there's fast ways of suicide and there's very slow way of suicide. The slow way is the steady way of eating ourselves to death. Just eating breaking all the rules. And you know, they're not rules that are set by your mommy, your daddy. They're rules. They're the universal rules. What goes in, you are what you eat. You know, you are what you eat, and that's the way it is. Yeah. It's not a judgment, it's not a theory, it's the truth. We said this 30 years ago, and then the medical, AMA finally caught up to it and said, yeah, you better watch your diet, you know. I mean, they always said that, well, you have to have the 3 food groups, you know. But the idea that I mean, what is the purpose? I mean, how do we allow it to justify the corporations? And not to say that they're responsible, because they're responsible. No matter how much stupid McDonald's or Budweiser or anything, no matter how much these greedy capitalists put out there, not one of them come and grab your hand and jam it into that thing of French fries and shove it into your mouth. You're the only one that does that. So you have to take 100% responsibility for that. But the question is, it is not a judgment, because we've been doing this forever. We're going to do it for a lot, many more times. It's okay. We're in here learning. This is a learning process. There isn't any judgment involved in it.